What is going on, everybody? Welcome to CS5 Unmasked. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of my brand new studio and the reason why I decided to build it rather than use a room in my house. Now, my previous area where I did all my gaming, mask making, and live streaming was just a simple garage at my old place. And though I'm actually missing it, I knew it was time to actually get something new. So when I was looking for a brand new house, I knew I needed an extra room so I can finally have the studio that I always wanted. So when I was looking at houses, I finally settled on a particular house that I actually wanted. Not only did it have a garage, but it also had an extra room. And after I checked out the new house, I knew this was a place that I had to buy. Once I finished moving in, I finally got working on my new studio. But after a while, something really didn't feel right. I mean, yeah, I had some nice stuff with an enclosed area, and I wasn't gaming in the garage anymore. It still felt like something was out of place. And then it hit me. You know, I take great pride in creating masks, costumes, and anything else that I do because I know I did it with my bare hands. So I thought to myself, could I actually make a studio? So one night I was actually pulling my car into the garage and then it hit me. Why don't I convert a part of the garage into my new studio? That was the missing piece that I actually needed. And as soon as the idea ran through my head, I ran down to the local lumber store and started picking up some materials. Now, I knew I had to do this on the cheap because that's typically what I normally would do if I was creating a mask or even a costume. So I asked around for some reclaimed lumber, but some of the materials I actually did have to buy from the home improvement store. Things like nails, screws, and small finishing trim pieces. So once I had all my materials, I immediately started working. Now, once I got the frame up, I started putting up scrap plywood and OSB so I can at least get the interior done. So then I started putting up the walls. With scrap plywood and OSB laying around, I knew it worked just fine. So after the inside of the studio was skinned, I had to decide on paint. Now, fortunately for me, when I bought the house, the previous owners left a whole bunch of used paint, which they used to do touch-up work before I moved in. I was initially going to paint the whole room white, but then I thought that really isn't my style, so I went with a two-tone, using gray on the top and white on the bottom. But I also wanted more of a rustic look, so I did have to go to the hardware store and pick up some trim. And I left the trim unfinished because I still wanted that homemade look. So after the interior was done, I decided to actually build my desk rather than buy one, because I still had a whole bunch of extra plywood laying around. Now, as far as top of the desks, I was initially just going to paint it or use some form of laminate, but I really wasn't going to pay out the money. So I just went to the dollar store and bought some construction paper along with some cheap duct tape, and that's what you see here. So I knew that if I put my gaming consoles on top of my desk, it was actually going to take up most of the room. So I decided to build a small little shelf underneath, where not only can they stay out of the way, they actually look pretty good down there as well. Now, I was going to put some pegboard on the back wall so I can hang up my masks, but I still had a bunch of extra plywood and some bracketry. I decided to actually make shelves for them, because I really like to display some of the things that I've actually created. Now, probably one of the biggest expenses that I actually did for this place was the acoustic soundproofing. Now, this isn't very much, and I do plan on buying more, but I picked this up on Amazon for around $14. And believe you me, it actually reduces a lot of the echo, way more than I ever thought. Now that I got the studio built, it's time to do the little tour for you guys. So as soon as you walk in, you immediately notice the CS5 Gaming, along with the two cutouts of Michael Myers and the Punisher. Now, all three of these were actually made from a buddy of mine, who not only is a big fan, but he's also a really good friend. Now, even though my YouTube channel is not CS5 Gaming anymore, I still want to pay an homage to him by having it up as soon as you walk into the room. And the Michael Myers and Punisher, well, they'll speak for themselves. Of course, we got my man Jason, directly to the right, to welcome you into the brand new studio. Now, when working on my masks, I wanted to do them in the same room, because I like watching live streams or listening to music while I'm trying to create something. So I got my small little work area right over here. And currently right now, I'm working on a pre-Uber Jason X mask. And then of course, easy access to the outside, so when I want to actually do my spray painting, or the weather's extremely nice, I can have the door open. Now, once I pan over here, you're going to clearly see I got a lot of my stuff actually on display. Now, this is a small fraction of the masks and creations that I've actually done. A lot of them are still actually in boxes or in storage. Now, as I pan down, you can clearly see a few illustrations by my man Mike Jordan. The man is second to none when it comes to illustrating, and I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description below. Please go check him out. Now, if you see here, this is primarily where I do most of the work. Now, normally I don't have masks hanging off the side of the TV, but for the tour, I wanted to show off a few more masks. And you know what? They do look kind of cool there. Alright, now as I pan down, this is the actual gaming hub. I have the Xbox One X on the left, I have the Xbox 360 in the middle, and of course, the new addition to the CS5 Unmasked channel, the PlayStation 4. Alright, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the channel and been very patient with me while I get everything set up. So now that I got the studio completed, I can now start getting back into the mask making and costumes. I hope you guys enjoyed the new studio because you know what? I absolutely love it. And you know why? Because I made it with my bare hands. Now it's probably not the prettiest, but for me, it's the most functional. If you guys have a gaming setup or a studio where you do most of your work in, make a video on it and let me know. I would really like to see that. Because let's be honest, it's probably better than mine. Alright everybody, this is CS5 signing out, and I hope to see you in the next video.